Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Hey, Nene. I see Nene is in the building. So I did a poll. And I was asking you guys if you really wanted me to do the power reviews. And then I saw that you guys were craving the WTF weekly. So I said, you know what? It's time for me to do the WTF weeklies again. And we have a lot to talk about, y'all. A lot. Hey, KP girl, how are you? So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So, we're going to just dive right on in. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. So, yes, creators have been having issues with their lives today, as in what? They're being flagged or they're having issues with just getting on live in general. Let me know. I wouldn't be shocked though, which is why, unfortunately, we're in this time and age where you have to be very cautious even about what you talk about because people are sensitive and in their shit and they're flagging people left and right. Like literally flagging people left and right. People are being in YouTube jail because of certain things that they're saying for some reason, which is quite interesting. But yeah, so I didn't know if are they having issues due to technical issues or because people are flagging them? Let me know. But with that being said, let's get started. And a couple of things we're going to talk about that didn't hit the thumbnail because I was just finding this out as I was preparing for this today. And let's start off with the first one that I heard about that I didn't add. Remy Ma's son. Have y'all heard about this? I mean, damn. So allegedly, Remy Ma's son, and I think that is her only son. And before she had this daughter with Papoose, that was her only child, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I remember seeing him on Love and Hip Hop, if I'm not mistaken. Her son and Papoose' oldest daughter. Well, allegedly, he's been accused of unaliving someone in the first degree, if I'm not mistaken. This was back in 2021, I believe, in Queens, and he just got arrested apparently today. Okay, this is like official that just came out. Now, Remy Ma is saying, of course, that she's going to stand by her son. She's actually saying that, she feels that he's innocent. This is a sad situation. Hey, Joseph, this is a sad situation because we all know Remy Ma's past, okay? Kind of similar to the same thing with the same steal. And, I don't know what the exchange was or if it actually happened because, again, he is innocent until proven guilty. But considering the fact that his mother had something similar that happened, luckily this person is still alive, but she spent how many years? Was it like 8 years or something like that in prison? This is a sad situation. If he is convicted, this sounds like this is going to be a life situation. He's going to be a lifer. I don't see how. And see, exactly, KP. Exactly. If it is that, then that's first degree. That's premeditated. So that's typically a life sentence in New York. They don't play about stuff like that. So this is sad. This is really sad. And it seems to be that it's a cycle if it is true. Now, again, he is innocent until proven guilty. But I know she has to be devastated. I'm sure she was hoping that she would probably be the only one who has to go through this and definitely not her son. So we'll have to see, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's a sad situation. But what's even sadder is the person who is unalived. Okay, because let's not forget the victim's family and the victim in the situation as well. So we will have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, breaking news today, her son has been arrested for first degree. Sad, just sad. So prayers to everyone involved in the situation. Hey, Shayla. Now, it's a very sad situation, Nene, very sad. Now, Interesting enough, today, I don't know if any of you guys actually either follow Ashanti or she pops up on your search pages. I don't follow Ashanti. She pops up, but she had something about Entertainment Tonight, and how, she did an interview with them and she was talking about how she's engaged, how he proposed, and how they get along so well. She definitely looks happy. She looks like she's glowing. But interesting enough, TMZ dropped something today out of all days when she had this Entertainment Tonight stuff that was popping up all over IG. Apparently, Nelly and Ashanti have been married for months. Married, not engaged, but actually married. So, quite interesting. But at the same time, I'm not mad. Like, honestly, if you're going to do it that way, especially being celebrities, that's the best way to do it, in private. If they are engaged, because a lot of people was talking about Ashanti, hating the fact that she went backwards and dealt with Nelly, because of course her and Nelly used to date back in the day. Clearly something happened. Something went down. That was a bad situation. We do know that. And then he ended up getting with that girl. I think her name was Miss Jackson or something like that. And then now he's back with Ashanti. So a lot of people was like, girl, do not have this man choose you, what I'm saying, as a rebound, whatever the case may be. But let's be real. Maybe it's not a rebound situation. I think a lot of people assume that, but there are men who do grow up. Nelly, I believe, now is in his 50s. He has grown up and maybe he realized that that was the one who got away. you know so maybe he actually realized that I made a big mistake, and this time around I'm gonna make sure I do it right. There are men who do get their stuff together, so hopefully that's the case. And Nelly still is sitting on a nice coin. I think he just made a deal not too long ago, like worth $100 million, so he good. He's definitely good, and they do look happy together, so I'm hoping this is the real deal. Like, I really do. I hope they are married. I didn't want her to just be a baby mama in her 40s. I understand that. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think any woman wants to go into any situation being a baby mama. And that's at any age, you know what I mean? But if that was the case and she was a baby mama, she got a good baby daddy who is going to make sure that he take care of that child. Because one thing I've never heard about Nelly, I've never heard that he was a bad father. And he also, if I'm not mistaken, took in his sister's kids when his sister passed away. So, I'm hoping that this is truly the real deal. But they always look like they're having a great time when they're with each other. Now, granted, that is on social media, so you just never know what's really going down behind the scenes, but they do look truly happy. He is aging well. He is very well. Yes, very well. He has a lot of weird cases. I just thought, yeah, I feel you, KP. He definitely has a past. That is for sure. And I definitely remember that time when he had that very, but again, he was young. He had that very risque video back in the day, and it was so raunchy. And now today it would be normal, but hell, it was so raunchy that Spelman College was like, absolutely not, because he was supposed to be a guest speaker on their campus in regards to his sister's condition, because his sister died. His sister passed, excuse me. She passed from, I want to say, leukemia. I hope I can say that. Good grief. You don't know what you can say on YouTube anymore. But I want to say she passed from that, and he was supposed to be a guest speaker on Spelman College, and they were so disgusted by that video. They was like, you cannot come on our campus. Like, you cannot come on our campus. What up, Yuli? Yes, 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 I remember that. And that's why I'm saying back then, and that was about 20 years ago, you still had women who was like, absolutely not. Nowadays, you will probably have a lot of women, even with a freaking degree, that would say, where can I sign up at so I can be in this video? We're living in sad times. Yes, yes. Y'all remember that. You remember it. Okay. So yeah, so I wish them the best of luck. But yes, apparently they're married. And typically TMZ, I don't know if they've ever had a story that came out that's not true. So if they're reporting it, clearly it's true. Okay. So congrats to them. I guess I gotta still say allegedly because they're not technically, I don't think they showed court documents of the marriage, but yeah, congratulations to them if it's true. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you're talking about the Tipper video. Man, I was definitely too young to be watching that raunchy music video, but BET, yes, remember BET Uncut? Oh my gosh. But yes, even though it was on BET Uncut, Spelman College was like, uh-uh, nope. I wish them the best. Their love has been an on and off and on issue. Yeah. And again, a lot of the times I think they both got together when they were in like their 20s. You don't really know to a certain extent what you want in your 20s, especially when you're in this industry, you're constantly evolving. She had that nonsense with Irv Gotti. Like there was so many things going on, but now that they're older, I'm really hoping his whole thing is, look, you got away the first time. I'm not about to let it happen again. I'm hoping that's the situation. So yeah. So congrats to Nelly and Ashanti. Can't wait to see the baby. I don't know if someone has already revealed what she's having. Some people are saying a boy because sometimes they see her in blue and then here she is in pink, and someone gonna say a girl. I don't know. I think Nelly has a daughter, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sure he's probably hoping for a boy. But moving on, moving on, moving on. Teeny little fizzle pop. Well, teeny little fizzle pop got popped upside his head during a freaking interview. Like, oops, upside your head. I said, oops, upside your head. Yeah, teeny little fizzle pop got into an altercation during an actual interview that was promoting this Tubi movie that he's in. I don't really know if it's on Tubi, but just based on the actual movie poster alone, it feels like a Tubi vibe. Now, my first thing was, is this really real? I don't know if you guys saw it, and I don't want to, do a lot of videos and stuff because again, they flagging people for anything at this point. I saw the actual altercation at different angles. It wasn't really no punches being thrown. It seemed like a wrestle type scuffle. Little Fizz got up with no marks on him. And as light and bright as he is, if you even pinch his ass, he is going to have black and blue marks. None of that occurred. So it really made me wonder if this was something that was planned. Now, what I did not like was there was rumors going around that the reason why they got into it was because someone mentioned Chris Stokes, and if Chris Stokes did what to him, and somebody also said that apparently they mentioned Diddy, and if Diddy did something to him, and that's what caused the issue. Now I wasn't paying complete attention to it, but I believe I fully watched the whole entire interview. I didn't hear anything like that. But again, maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear anything like that. So I don't like the fact that that's just kind of being put out there. It really just seemed like a stupid ego thing because I guess Fizz is trying to say he's making this movie and the other guy is talking about how jealous he is. And then it just went back and forth from there. But considering the fact, I don't know, you guys. I'm thinking it could have been a setup because it just seemed like a little scuffle. And honestly, the way that Fizz got up and you see the size difference, if Fizz really was that upset and wanted to get down, I would say he would have took the first punch. Because there is no way I would have kept talking like that and literally had that man chin check me like that. Like at that point, when you start getting up, you might as well. Because you already little. Like little Fizz, I think, is not even 5'5". I remember seeing them. They're short. Hell, Omarion is like 5'2", 5'3", and I'm not exaggerating. They short as hell. So I'm like, when you want to do all of that, you better take advantage of what you can at that moment and literally Superman his ass, because I just no. But to me, the reason why all of that went down in that scuffle and that little wrestle move that they had, it just seemed like it could have been a setup just to promote the movie because now people are talking about it. But what do you guys think? I think it was set up, it was planned. At this point, people will do whatever just to get promotion. So y'all let me know. It was a little tussle. Exactly. Why y'all dog Tubi? It gets me through late nights when I can't sleep. Because are you saying that it's so boring that it makes you sleep? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Oh, I hope they didn't say that to him. I don't think they did, Nene. I listened to it and I didn't hear that at all. But again, sometimes when like an interview is boring, you kind of gloss over things because you're bored as hell. But yeah, so no, I don't think that's the I didn't remember that. I don't. I think it was a setup. Setup as in they wanted to do it on purpose so they can get some publicity. Yes, yes. When you're short like that, you got to go for the exactly. Go for the knees, go for the gut, go for the lower half of the body. You got to do something. And he just kept saying, "Come on, let's go," and stand it up. And I'm like, "So when you going to bust the move?" Because once that dude stood up, I was like, "Oh shit." Like he easily got about a good 80 extra pounds on him. He's taller, which doesn't mean that much because Little Fizz, again, is a little teeny fizzle pop. So I'm sure this guy, maybe had about 3 or 4 inches on him. But yeah, I was just like, this is not going to end well. And when I didn't see that guy throw a punch and Fizz didn't throw a punch, I was like, this seems like a setup. Because when guys fight, it's going down. Like it's going down. It just seemed a little WrestleMania to me, but that's just my opinion on the situation. Yeah, I heard about that, Yuli, but I'm not talking about that. But I do know that apparently the comeback that Monique said kind of made me chuckle a little bit. But I'm happy that she said she done moved on. She in a relationship and all of that stuff. But yeah, I heard about that. But yeah, I just at this point it is what it is. I wish her the best. And it seems like she's happy. She losing weight, all of that stuff. So I wish her the best in the situation. Now, moving on. Cry me a river, ho, ho. Cry me a river, ho. Justin Timberbitch. Yes, I'll call him Justin Timberbitch. Justin Timberbitch got arrested for a DUI in the Hamptons. He did. He did. And as you guys know, I'm a big Janet Jackson fan. And so when I saw this, I said, son of a gun. Ha ha hoo hoo. Ha ha hoo hoo. Yeah. Sorry, look, and I know that apparently Janet has forgiven him. She even said in one of her documentaries that she wants all of her fans and stuff to move on. Yeah, no. Yeah, Janet, I got my own mind, and like you say, I'm gonna make my own decisions. So no, I never will forgive what his punk ass did in all of his white privilege, what he did to you after that Super Bowl situation. And even if you have forgiven him and both of you have moved on, karma still comes back. I mean, it just does. And I just didn't think at his ripe age that he would be getting arrested for a DUI. All right. And then apparently, allegedly, he's claiming it was just after one drink. Now, do y'all believe that shit? Really? One drink? One drink. Come on now. Now, his eyes look glossy as hell in this mugshot, but I don't know. He could have been crying too, because I don't know if you guys remember that reality show Punk. Remember Punk with Ashton Kutcher? Yeah. Remember when Justin got punked and they were trying to, I guess, take all of his stuff out of the house or something? Something happened with his house and they were punking him as if they were destroying stuff from his house, like his guitar and all of this stuff. And homeboy was literally crying and like literally about to be in straight tears. And the first thing he did was call his mama. So he's a crier. So considering the fact that I remember that and I was laughing my ass off and I was like, this dude is straight crying. And the first thing he does is call his mom because they're destroying his stuff and he doesn't know what's going on. I can believe that he was crying also. He was probably crying when they was putting the handcuffs on him. That's what, oh yes. And happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, child. Now we know who got Brittany into the Drew. So I think he is on the ooh. Girl, you know, wait. Okay, yeah, that's a big allegedly. A big allegedly. Look at his career now. Janet's still selling out stadiums. Exactly. Exactly. Now, allegedly, they found. Okay, wait a minute. You got Yuli. You guys, there is a big thing going on now where even stuff in the comments, y'all gotta start asterisking out stuff. The D word, things like that. You may think it don't hit the algorithm, but it does. So please make sure that you start. We will know what D and asterisks will mean. Okay. So yeah, allegedly they said they found that stuff. Now I can believe if they found that and him having that with a drink, how he could literally go through that, but he apparently didn't pass the sobriety test allegedly, and he refused the breathalyzer test. So that in itself, they was like, okay, we got to put the handcuffs on you. So that's just what it is. That drink must have been moonshine or corn liquor. No, apparently it wasn't. That's why I said it was more than just one drink, in my opinion. Those eyes are too red and glossy for it to be one drink, more like one. Yeah, facts. Facts. Or he was crying. Yeah, he was crying. You know, he's a crier. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, I don't wish bad on anyone, but for those who are old enough to remember, we not gonna pretend like what he did to Janet and then he made sure he threw her under the bus so he could go and perform at the Grammys. Ain't nobody forgot that stuff. So much so that every time there is a Super Bowl, there is Janet Jackson Appreciation Day. Like during the Super Bowl, it's hashtag Janet Jackson Appreciation. So at the end of the day, we know what you did and we'll never forget it. We'll never forget it. At least the real ones will never forget it. So yeah. So yeah. I ain't trying to hear that. Pop, really? No, I want to say that's everyone, I thought. I don't know, child, though, that because that's not my ministry, but I thought that was everyone. A whole new exactly. Exactly. And that was his song. Cry me a river. Ho ho. It's about time a white celebrity got in trouble again because the black celebrities have been catching. Hey, girl. I'm like, maybe his privilege done ran out. Cause I mean, honestly, when you really think about it, Justin Timberlake has had pretty much a squeaky clean career besides him throwing Janet under the bus. For the most part, I don't think there was any type of like salacious like news and stuff on him ever in his career. He's supposed to be a likable guy. You know, of course, you know, he's had great songs, you know, using a lot of our, you know, samples and producers and stuff, but you know, he definitely has some good hits on top of that. So the fact that you want to do this stuff now in your 40s, my dude, when you had your 20s to act the fool, hell, you had your teenage years to act the fool when you were in sync, and you're gonna do this now, something ain't right. Something ain't right in my opinion, but you know, that's just my opinion. But yeah, so Justin Timber, bitch, good luck to you. That's all I have to say. And you know, while you in there, think about all the bad things you've done, like especially when it comes to Janet Jackson, because you know her fans haven't forgot at all. We haven't forgotten at all. Like we're gonna always remember that. Always. Midlife crisis. You think so? You think it's a midlife crisis? And apparently, isn't he on tour? He's on tour. He's doing concerts right now. And I read somewhere that they're saying this could affect his tour. I don't know how, but you know, I don't know because he has to go to a court date or something, but apparently this is affecting or could affect his tour. His music ain't given anymore. It's just not. Well, I haven't even heard any new music. I think the last thing I heard from him, I mean, his Justified album was good, but he was still on my good list because that was before the drama with Janet. Then he had another album with that song Suit and Tie. I mean, I heard that, but I just wasn't invested in Justin Timberlake's career after that. But Justified to me was the highlight of his solo career. That was the peak of his solo career, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not a big fan to know. But yeah, but apparently last time I saw him, he was on stage dancing like an old man, looking like he worked at Best Buy or Target or something. He had on like an outfit that looked like he worked at one of those places. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? A lot of celebrities are spiraling. Everyone is scared of going broke. Yeah. Yeah, one thing about it, to me, you can really tell when there may be a money issue when you have people who continuously go on tour. Like you have some like there's no doubt in my mind, like the Janets, the Madonnas, people like that, like the living legends, because when they came into the music industry, you truly can make real money in the industry. I think they do what they do simply because of the fact that they just want to be around their fans and they want to, be able to still, exercise and engage with their fans and all of that stuff. But a lot of these younger ones, it makes you wonder, like, why can't you sit your ass down and stay off tour? Because a lot of times that's where they make their money. They're not making money with album sales. When Janet and Madonna were coming up in the game, you're talking about these ladies, 20 million on one album, 30 million on one album. Like that was known back in the day. They're not doing those numbers no more. If he's performing like he did a Super Bowl, it isn't worth going right. I didn't even watch that Super Bowl. But honestly, now that I think about it, I haven't watched the Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl performance I watched straight through after Janet, and I still don't watch it live. I watch it after the fact. I don't watch it live. Was Dr. Dre and Snoop, and that's because I'm from here. I'm from the West Coast, so naturally I wanted to see that one and the Usher one. But I haven't been invested in the Super Bowl. Justin had to go back to NSYNC. Yeah. Remember when Justin? Oh yes. He sure did. He sure did. And he was trying to say, guess what? I was like, where were you on the charts? And I'm like, Prince created charts before your ass was even born or when you were a baby. Like, I can't stand when these newer artists or these younger artists feel like they can disrespect the legends in the game. Like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a Prince. Yeah, back in the days where albums, exactly, not singles. Bruno Mars had one of the best. Yes. And Bruno Mars, Silk Sonic, that album I can listen to from beginning to end. Still to this day, that is a classic album. And I hate the fact that because we live in a very fraudulent society today, especially within the music industry. Remember one year they had their Silk Sonic album, and I think they won Record of the Year and Song of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. The next year they were still eligible to actually go up for an award. And I really wanted them to because I felt like they deserved Album of the Year. And I think they could have won Album of the Year, but you had the Beyoncés, you had, I think, Taylor Swift, you had some other people, and I think they knew because of the fraudulent things that go on. In my opinion, I feel like they was like, we're just going to bow out gracefully and just have the awards that we have versus possibly losing awards, not because of the lack of talent, but because sometimes things can be rigged, allegedly. So I definitely, Bruno Mars killed it. Bruno Mars did that. You guys, Lord have mercy. Bruno Mars did that. And Silk Sonic album is a classic still to this day. So bye, Justin Timberlake. Now, you guys, let me tell you something. I'm just gonna be real honest. When I first heard that Bad Boys was coming out with another movie, I was like, for the hell what? What is the reason? Why do we need another Bad Boys? Like, is Hollywood that desperate where they're going to continue to recycle these type of movies to guarantee asses in the seats? I was just like, why? Why do we need to deal with this? Why? So I went to go see Bad Boys, you guys. And let me tell you something. It was a good ass movie. Okay? And y'all know how I am. Good movie. If I had to rate it, I would give it a solid A. No lie. And just in case I slip up, spoiler alert now. Spoiler alert, okay? Now, how many of you have actually seen Bad Boys? This Bad Boys, Ride or D, because I can't say the word, Ride or D. How many have actually seen it? Let me see. I think the last Diamond Certified album was Usher Confessions album, and that was back in 2004. Also, those sales came from when people actually went out and bought CDs back then. As far as Black artists are concerned, yes. Yes, he is the last one, if I'm not mistaken, that went Diamond. If I'm not mistaken, correct. But I know Adele, every time she comes out, she goes Diamond. I want to say maybe Taylor Swift has gone Diamond, but yeah. And Usher got robbed that year for Album of the Year. He really did. I thought he was going to get Album of the Year, but that was the year that Ray Charles passed, and they gave it to Ray Charles. So yeah, I think in my opinion, I think they did him dirty and didn't give him Album of the Year. When I heard it, I said they want the public to forgive Will. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I don't know when they went into production for this, but remember with that whole Oscar situation, he had that Slave movie that came out, and honey, I couldn't do another Slave movie. I tried to watch it, but I kept falling asleep on it. It came on Apple. But Will is a great actor, but I was just like, I can't do it. But no one I think for the most part, people like Will in these type of movies and funny, quirky movies, because that is naturally his personality. Not saying that he can't do a variety of different, roles, but this is what people like him in. So it could be that, but even the wife changed. That did kind of bother me, which is why I can't give it an A+. Now, apparently, Teresa Randall is going through something because Teresa Randall, which was the original Teresa from the first Bad Boys, she's been in all the Bad Boys movies up until this one. Tasha Smith. I don't know if you guys know who Tasha Smith is. She was the loud, in your face. What was it? And Why Did I Get Married? She was the wife on Why Did I Get Married, who was always ready to fight. That's Tasha Smith. She played Teresa in this one. It did kind of throw me off because when you have these type of cult classics, you still kind of want to see the original people. So that did kind of throw me off, but even still, it was still an excellent movie. No, I haven't. I saw it last weekday night. It was good. Yeah. You guys, it was it's okay, girl. It's okay. No, it's all good. It was really good, you guys. It had a balance of everything. It had the funny, it had the action, and there were a couple scenes with the action that had me on the edge of my seat, and I was like, dang, dang, dang. So it definitely gave you that because you need that in the action, movies. It definitely had a good balance of everything. There's a couple things that I just, just because I'm anal like that, where but that's just typical of movies. Like, why in the hell you got all of these, fire going back and forth? Because it's action movie, they always out there blazing. You notice that everybody else be having helmets on except the main cast, and I just be like, can y'all ever find a way to have helmets on these people and we can still see their faces? Because realistically, in any type of get down, the way it goes down in these action movies, they not about to go in there with no helmet or nothing on to protect their heads. But it was good, and I don't want to spoil it, but I would highly recommend you go see it. Will Smith's son that plays Will Smith's son in this movie, just like in the last movie, he is fine as hell, y'all. Ooh, he's some eye candy. I don't know his name, but hey, Poppy. Oh my gosh, he is fine. I kept looking at that screen and I said, damn, that is one sexy man. Ooh, he's so sexy. But yeah, you guys, I highly recommend it. And I will say that there were certain that, like, there was one scene that I didn't like, and for those who watched it, where because Martin, just a spoiler part, Martin has a revelation after something happens to him, and he feels like he can't be unalived. And to prove that he can't be unalived, he does something in the street that I was just like, oh gosh, we don't need these type of scenes. While it's funny, I don't know if you guys remember this movie back in the day called The Program. Do you guys remember that movie called The Program? It was with Omar Epps, Halle Berry, like in the beginning of their careers, and it was about like a college football team, And there was a scene in there that they had to eventually take out because it was a scene also in the street that these fools decided to do. And it was getting so crazy that because there were kids who were actually trying to do what they did in that movie. And I think someone ended up becoming unalive or got severely injured. So those type of things I just don't like, because I feel like it gets the crazies out there, or the people who feel like they can do whatever in movies. They try those things. But other than that, though, again, great movie from beginning to end. I truly enjoyed myself. So yes, definitely go see it. Watch it. I'm gonna watch it in my crib. And the theater was up my alley. A movie, popcorn, and a filthy martini. Oh, so you went into one of those dine-in movie theaters. Yeah, those are always the best. Now it is the best bad boy out of the. It was okay. It was definitely better than the last one. Comparing it to the last one when we first got introduced to his son, that one was okay. In my opinion, because how many bad boys have there been? Is this the fifth one? I feel like this is the fifth one, right? Or am I mistaken? Or is this the fourth one? I would say it's in the top three, that's for sure. I forgot how many there is, but it definitely was better than the last one. This one was a good one. It really was. So yeah, go watch it. I don't want to say too much, and I was gonna do a review on it, but sometimes, when it comes to reviews with movies, it can be a little bit more difficult, especially with a movie like Bad Boys. If you guys want me to do a review, by all means, I'll do one. But I just wanted to let you guys know this is a damn good movie. So I hope it hits its numbers, because and it was a family affair. Not only is Martin Lawrence's daughter in it, because she plays one of the reporters in there, Will Smith's niece is in it. She's like an extra in there. So they made sure everyone was involved in this one. Everyone was involved. And just another spoiler alert, Martin Lawrence's son-in-law, the one that we met back in the day, who was like, "No, sir, yes, sir." Oh, he kick ass. I'm going to just say that. He kicked some serious ass in this movie, okay? When I tell you I was in that scene, I was like, "Oh, oh, oh." He was hitting it. It was a funny scene also, because of course Martin makes it funny. And sidebar, there has been a big thing about Martin Lawrence's health right now. And I'm just really not feeling that. And the reason why I'm not feeling that is because, one, I think people forget that celebrities are people too. Martin is no longer Martin from Martin Lawrence in his 20s and his 30s. This man is in his 50s, practically in his 60s. If there is some health concerns, it really isn't any of our business, but he also has the right to have health concerns just like the rest of us. All right. So I just didn't understand what the big deal was when people was like, he looked like he's off. He looks like, Will is helping him, walk. If something did happen to him, maybe something did. We should just be happy and blessed that he's still alive, and he's going on tour soon. And I don't know about y'all, but when they do these comedy tours, you got to be in some type of shape to do those comedy tours. So, as a matter of fact, I may actually buy some tickets to go see Martin Lawrence, because I've never seen him like literally on tour. So, yeah, and this may be his last tour for all we know, because, he's getting older and he's a big movie star at this point, and he has his residuals from Martin. He don't really have to go on tour. He's probably doing it just because he wants to. But yeah, I just feel like it was a little too much with people just so concerned. They claim they were concerned. I think they were just trying to be nosy. But in Martin's own way, he's telling people to mind their own damn business. And I agree with that. I was only missing one thing, Nene. Yes, okay, his name is Armando. Armando. Ooh, he's sexy. Ooh, he's sexy. Oh my gosh, that man is sexy. Seriously. I miss when movies have fire sound. Oh man, back in the day, yes, like you couldn't wait, especially when it was like a African American based movie. You knew it was gonna be fire, especially if Babyface was attached to it, or Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. It was over. From Waiting to Exhale to Soul Food, yes, you had some amazing soundtracks back in the day. The Bodyguard. I think The Bodyguard won Album of the Year. So it's four of them. Okay, so it's four of them. To me, it definitely is up there. It definitely is up there. The last one was just okay for me. But yeah, it definitely was up there. I want you to review Tell Them You Love Me on Netflix. That documentary is wild. Okay. All right, Nene, email me, child, because I'll forget. And give me some time because I still got to do House of Dragon amongst the other stuff. But yeah, I'll um I'll do that. I pretty much whatever you guys recommend, I try my best unless I absolutely feel like I'm not invested and it's that horrible. But yeah, I'll definitely look at it. Okay, I don't know if that they need to leave Martin alone. If Bobby Brown is out here touring, there's an audience for Martin. You better say that again. Because let me tell you something. When Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat did that versus, I was concerned for Bobby. I was like, he needs an asthma pump. I didn't know what was about to happen. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? And he refuses to lose the weight. And he's still going on tour. Like, you can't tell me that man can't lose some of that stomach weight. Especially when you're dealing with tours and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on, but considering the fact that Bobby used to be really small back in the day, all of his other NE fellas, they stay in shape. Bobby, he do one spin and he looked like he got to sit down. I'm concerned. Bad Boys 2 had a fire soundtrack as well. Y'all remember? Oh, yes. Shake a tail feather. Yes. Bobby needs to sit down. It's time. Yes, Bad Boys did have a good soundtrack. Yeah, back in the day, Bobby still be trying to hop around. Hop. It ain't a hop no more. It's a skip. He can't hop. It's barely a skip. When he did that versus with Keith Sweat, I said, "Where is the breathing machine? Where's the asthma pump?" Because while he was trying to talk, he could barely talk, and he was sitting down. I was just like, I'm concerned. Meanwhile, I think Keith Sweat got a good amount of years over on Bobby, and Keith Sweat was just fine. Keith Sweat has been keeping himself up. Bobby, on the other hand, just looks like he doesn't care to keep himself up. And again, anytime New Edition is on tour, Bobby is with them. So I'm confused. And I'm from the Bean. Have you heard his son Landon trying to sing with Bob? And on that note, yeah. So yeah, go watch Bad Boys, you guys. Highly recommend it. I was thoroughly impressed. Like I said, I went in there like, oh hell no. Like, here we go with this Bad Boys thing again. But it was good. It was good. So definitely. And then when you guys do watch it, let me know what you think. Yes. All right, y'all. Okay. So those in the chat, even those who weren't talking, by all means, say hello. We don't bite over here. How many of y'all have heard about this BS? How many? I need to know. I need to know in the chat how many of you have heard about this drama with Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, and Armand Wiggins. Let me know. Because it's been all over the internet, and especially the YouTube channels that, post hourly, daily. They've been on this, and some of them even said it was kind of a slow month, but this has helped them with their coins and stuff. So how many of you guys, okay, Joseph, like, oh no, not this. Yes, you've heard. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. So most of you guys have heard about this. So let me just give basic background for those who have not. So Al Reynolds just had a birthday not too long ago. And honestly, Armand Wiggins has had a birthday too. I think both of them are Geminis, interesting enough. So this really started, in my opinion, just based on my research. Lunel, the comedian Lunel, she did a guest appearance on TGIF not too long ago. And she decided to randomly bring up Star Jones and how, I guess they were talking about people fronting about, not being honest about them being gay and things like that. And she mentioned like, well, you was married to Star or whatever the case may be. Like, were you honest about your stuff? Because, he says he's a man. And he was like, oh, yes, I've been honest with all of my, relationships or whatever. And what you heard in the background was Claudia kind of chiming in and agreeing with what Luenell said. Now, for those who don't know, from my understanding, Star Jones gave a gag order to Fox Soul, not, I want to say about a year or so ago, pretty much saying you can't say her name. So it's kind of forbidden at this point to say her name because she pretty much put a gag order saying that no one can mention her at Fox Soul. So interesting enough, if anybody would know that, it would be everyone on that show who is the main person on that show, especially Claudia Jordan, who I believe is an executive producer, allegedly. So the fact that Luenell felt so free to mention that and Claudia chimed in like agreeing with her, in my opinion, it was a setup. Just like I feel it was a setup with the Armand Wiggins roast. Okay. Now, he did roast Armand for his birthday, but like, Al said, it's not in his character to really roast. He does slight roasts or whatever, but said, happy birthday, brother. But let me tell you something. When Armand came on, that was beyond a roast. And this is just my opinion and all allegedly, but it was beyond a roast. Like when I saw that roast, I didn't laugh. I was just like, damn. Like, what is going on here? And to me, I have to be real in this situation. Tasha K made some valid points. Now, we all know Tasha K can have her ups and downs, but one thing that Tasha K, and I thought this immediately when I saw it too, I said, Armand has only been there for like 6 months, 6 months maybe. Why is he talking so freely about apparently all of this behind the scenes stuff about Al, having, this strong relationship with management and how he be trying to get people fired or how he'll smile up in, a coworker's face and then talk behind their back. I was just like, what is going on here? And to me, he did say a lot of information that the only way, in my opinion, he would know is if someone ran their mouth. And I agree with Tasha K. I think it is Claudia. As far as I see it, if you really want to look at the situation, none of them on this screen are innocent. All of them, in my opinion, can be very passive aggressive, full of shit, and literally like to play victim. Okay? When Armand did what he did, it was out of this world. I was like, this is not a roast. You're airing dirty laundry that none of us should know about. We shouldn't know about this. You could say something maybe about the ex because you didn't mention Star's name, but all of that other stuff, in my opinion, I do feel like someone put a battery in his back, giving him information that he really didn't need to know. And I think Claudia was soaking it up so much so after the roast, she tried to say, it's just a roast. And if you're mad, maybe because there's some truth behind it. And to me, she was enjoying every moment of it. Now, could it be that Al is the type to go to management? Apparently he has a background in TV. It's possible, but I don't put that past any of them. Like, to me, I'm seeing a lot of egos, a lot of passive aggressive behavior, and I really don't trust Claudia. This is not the first time Claudia has been in some mess. Her name has been in mess a lot. And while sometimes you can be misunderstood, at the same time, you really got to look at, like, why is it that throughout the years you're always in some shit? Like, why? So to me, in my opinion, Claudia is behind it. She's behind it. And Armand decided to go on his live literally I think it was like a day or two ago. Now, Armand said this and he posted this on his actual page. I'm glad I learned early in my YouTube career that anyone you meet in the creator space or same niche cannot and will not be your real friend. Because, child, I be out here crashing out at the weirdness. But luckily, that lesson has already been taught. So carry on. I'm not shocked or surprised. Now, look. Is he lying about it being very difficult to actually have a fellow YouTube creator and have a genuine friendship? He's not lying about that. I've experienced that myself, and not necessarily on a friendship, but at least I would think that fellow creators can respect one another. That is not always the case. Even memes make it make sense. One of the reasons why I started following him and really connecting with him is because when I started my YouTube page, he has said multiple times that you would think as minority YouTube creators, we would find a way to stick together because they're always messing with us on these platforms. But he said, look, everybody ain't nice that you think is nice, and everybody is not, there's a different persona that they put on screen versus who they really are. So I understand what Armand was saying in that, but here's my thing. I felt like he was gaslighting the hell out of us in this recent video he did to talk about it, but not talk about it. And I think he only did it because he knew he was going to make a nice little coin and get the views, because he said that he was upset that he's not getting his TGIF coin right now and everybody else is making money. I think he was gaslighting. He didn't talk about the roast. He claims it was just a roast. He loves everybody. That was not a roast. That was a straight up drag, and you literally wanted him to react a certain way. And I am so happy that he did not. Al did not respond a certain way, and he kept it classy, because interesting enough, Armand said that people always like to do passive aggressive stuff and then poke the bear. And then when he lashes out, they want to act like they don't understand why Armand lashed out. But in my personal opinion, he did the exact same thing to Al. What he did was a straight drag. And I know if Al would have went off on him like he did on Funky Dineva's live, if Al would have went off like that on the live during the actual TGIF live, Armand would have played stupid and would have been like, it was just a roast. Like, why are you tripping? Like, what? I mean, it's just a roast. So while he's saying people have done that to him, to me, Armand, you do the same thing. So you can't have it both ways. You either are going to be better than the people who have done that to you, or you're going to do the same petty stuff, which means you're still going to attract the same energy. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, even based on what I saw on Armand's page on his video, his own video, he looks bad. It's not Al that looks bad. He looks bad. Even his own followers is like, I love you, but you were so wrong, and you just got on this show and you already acting a fool. And, now you done got the show canceled. He claims it's not canceled. It's on hiatus. He claims they were going on vacation anyways, but it sounds like while they were having a moment of vacation, they also are postponing until they can figure out what they're going to do. There's definitely something going on. He claims it's not because of the roast. I find that to be bullshit. Especially the way that Al called Funky and did not care. He was so, I'm sure if we would have saw his face, he would have been red as a beet. Do you hear me? He would have been red as hell, because he called Funky, and Funky was like, I'm on live. He was like, I don't give a F. I was like, ooh, is that Al? Like, his whole voice changed. And if you saw that roast, you would have saw his face change too. He was not happy at all with that. While Claudia was snickering, and Armand, this is not Armand's first time either taking it to another level. He takes things to another level, and I don't know where that comes from, because sometimes you just got to let go and let karma handle it. There have definitely been times where I felt like I had every right to cuss people out on how they disrespected me, either in personal life, on my own platform, whatever the case may be. But I know the type of person I am. And I also know that anytime that I've tried to do my own get back on someone, it's always come back on me. The best way to handle situations like that a lot of the times is allow people, the real people, to see how that person is, how that person is acting, and let karma take care of the rest. But Armand feels like he is the karma. So he always has to get his get back, whether it's with Tasha K, whether it's with Jason Lee. I think he's also gone off on Cardi B before. Now we have Al Reynolds. It just seems to be a big pattern with him where he has to explode, and he has to literally lash out on these people and let them have it. Now, could it be just for the ratings of it all? maybe, but I just know at this point, when you get a freaking platform where you can easily make $250,000 in your contract, plus get $1,000 per episode, and I think they do 5 shows a week. What the hell is y'all issue? And why did you feel that within a 6-month period of you being on that show, you had to go this hard on this man who literally is one of the originals on this show? Especially when you know if he's that good with management, you need to play chess in this situation, not checkers. Let me see what you guys are saying on here. It's the light-skinned guy, Star Jones. Yes, exactly. I was on Funky's live where yes, he went off, and he clearly didn't hear Funky, because then he was like, oh wait, you got me recording. He was like, I told you I was on live. He was so upset he didn't even hear what Funky was saying. This is an unusual bunch. Yeah, you got that right. Yes, Nene, big mad. The roast reminded me of that scene from Why Did I Get Married, when Mike was airing everyone's business out at the dinner table. Yeah, it's like, that ain't no roast. That ain't no roast. Like, you just, at this point, you just trying to be hurtful, mean. And, again, I have agreed with Tasha K and I have not agreed with Tasha K. It did come off mean-spirited, but the thing is, when Armand is pissed off or he feels like someone has done him wrong, he goes there. And it's like, but he claims he's changing, and maybe it's going to take him time to change, but he goes there in the worst way, where I'll just be like, damn, what is inside of you where you feel like you have to go that low? Like, what is it? You shouldn't roast unless you're a comedian or naturally funny. I mean, definitely Armand has definitely had gags and, giggles here and there, but a lot of time his roast, and it's not even just Al. I've seen him roast other people before, and it's just like, I'm never really laughing. I'm just like, damn. Like, dang, Armand, like, you are just really going in. Like, where is this coming from? So, and that's the way I felt with the Al Reynolds one. That's the way I felt. Al was a trooper to say, that was ratchet, but I enjoyed every bit of it. Because some people are like, well, if he didn't like it, why didn't he say something then? This man is a professional. And a lot of times when people do that type of stuff to you, they want you to get out of character. So he definitely shouldn't have fed into that. People love to get you out of character. They love to troll you just to see how you're going to react. Okay? That happens. It happens all the time. So I am proud that he said, oh, that was ratchet, but I enjoyed every bit of it. And then when he got off, he talked to people that he would talk to say, hell no, I'm not the one. Do not disrespect me like that. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It definitely seems personal, and it seemed like there was too much information about, back office stuff that was in that roast that we did not need to know. And so at this point, people are saying, can this be solved? I don't think it can. I don't think it can be solved. There's too many egos involved. I think there's too much damage that has been done. Who is this to even roast? Never heard of him till yesterday. He actually has a YouTube page. He has a successful YouTube page. Armand Wiggins, I think, has close to 200,000 followers. Now, here's my thing. He also wanted to talk about how people don't like him and people didn't want him on the show and people didn't want him successful. And he feels like that was the main reason about them talking about the roasting and stuff. Maybe with certain people, but I think the majority of the people, from what I've read, even on his own channel, his own followers, they weren't wishing on Armand's downfall. They just felt like it was just too much. And you have to know how to play the game. And I don't think Armand understands how to play the game, nor does he want to play the game. He just wants his get back any way he can. You could tell I was uncomfortable during that read, because that was exactly. His face kept changing as time. He started off like, okay, this is going to be lighthearted, but as time went on, his face started to change. You could tell he was pissed. He was pissed. And he still kept it classy. I can't even deny he kept it classy. He was like, it was ratchet, but I loved every bit of it. But if you saw Claudia's face, it was that sneaky little smirk like, oh, I'm getting you back too. because it's clear Claudia has issues with Al. She has issues with Al. And again, I don't trust Claudia in this situation either. I think she comes off very passive aggressive. And one minute she was talking slick shit about Al, and then the next minute she went on one of the bloggers and she talked to the blogger. She's like, I just don't like this drama. Like, I want it to be peace and drama. No, the hell you don't. You do give me the vibes that you will talk all of this shit and feed someone else and let someone else do your dirty work. And then you want to play victim when you say you don't want to be about this drama. You were talking about that man after that so-called rose, and you were saying, you know, there were things that Al, I think she said Al said stuff about her behind her back and said, well, if the roast isn't true, you wouldn't get so mad. Those are all passive aggressive get backs. Almost, in my opinion, implying that it kind of seems that she's trying to say he deserved it. But then when you get on another platform, you want to say that you don't want the drama. Seems like you do. You just didn't want to air out the drama. You wanted someone else to air out the drama, but that's just my opinion. I think the question I want to ask Armand is, Armand, the most is, did Claudia feed him info about Al, yes or no? Because everybody thinks Claudia is the mastermind of all of this. I don't think she has all that power. Well, she's apparently an executive producer of this show. She is, but here's my thing, Joseph. Let me ask you this. Armand has only been there. Funky stopped that show. I think he left in December of last year. And I think Funky was just saying, because he said he wants to be out of it. He ain't got nothing to do with it. He said he left December of last year. And then I want to say for a couple of weeks, at least maybe a month, they did guest roles, if I'm not mistaken. Armand didn't get put on until maybe February. I don't even know if he's been there for a whole 6 months. So how was it that within that time, you possibly know that he has a good relationship with management? He's fake when it comes to his coworkers and trying to get one fired. Like, there was too much information that was told behind the scenes, in my opinion, for Armand to really even be able to understand it at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it, to me, it was just too much information. That seems like information that came from someone who's been there from the beginning. So who else? You know what I mean? Who else could be? Nene told us years ago about spaghetti straps years ago. That scene from Will Never Not Be. Yeah. Cause I forgot Claudia was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, look, y'all know I'm from La La Land. Claudia has had a reputation. And what I mean by a reputation is, and this is just allegedly from word of mouth for people that I know, I don't know how, because again, everyone can evolve. Everyone can evolve. She's in her 50s at this point. But Claudia was a known shit talker, maybe not into people's faces, but she did talk a lot of shit. She judged a lot of people allegedly, and she was a mean girl. She was allegedly one of those girls, like, you can't sit with us unless you look a certain way. That's what I have been told. She only dealt with certain girls that looked a certain way so she can get into have certain access. She apparently was that girl. Like, you had to look a certain way. So she's had her issues. I've never seen her as this clean cut girl. I remember back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember, I don't know if you heard of a name, Datari Turner. I don't know if you guys have heard of Datari Turner, but look up Claudia Jordan and Datari Turner. Apparently, back in the day, they randomly got married in Las Vegas. And I guess, Datari said, yeah, no. Now, I don't know if they was tipsy. First of all, I don't even know if they was dating. Anybody who randomly want to get married to you in Las Vegas on the whim, like just randomly, yeah, I wouldn't believe it either. But apparently they got married. He sat up there and got that shit annulled or whatever. And she was literally trying to ruin this man and talk about him and all of this stuff and how, he lied to her. And, she just went in on him, just completely went in on him. But Claudia Jordan has never been somebody, at least from what I have heard and just even things that have been put out there publicly, she's never been like a clean cut girl in a sense. May look at her and be like, oh, she has the model features or whatever, but she's never been a clean cut girl. She's always been someone who talks shit and literally was a mean girl at one point, I guess, in her career and in her life. Hopefully she has evolved. So when Tasha K said that she sat down with Claudia and Claudia was just running her mouth and talking shit, I believe that. I believe it. I believe it 100% that Claudia was doing that because she likes to do that and have people do her dirty work so she could say, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to keep the peace. I don't understand. She gives me those vibes. But again, that's my opinion and the things that I have heard. So let me see what you guys are saying. Claudia did Tiny dirty allegedly. Tiny from Escape dirty? That Tiny? How did she do Tiny dirty? What looks, and this is another thing. There have been stories on this girl. She's always, ever so often, has had stories on her. So it's just like you can't be 100% innocent in this situation, in my opinion. You just can't be. You can't. You give the nice, nasty, passive aggressive vibes. Okay, so yeah. So what was the situation on that allegedly? Please let me know, Nene, because I didn't even know there was a situation with her and Tiny. So it's like at a certain point, yes, when you can be hated on or people don't like you, people can, team up together and make up things about you. I get that. But let's be real, you guys. I don't know if Claudia Jordan has ever had a strong presence in the entertainment industry for people to be hating on her that much. And I'm not throwing shade. She definitely continues to work. She'll constantly get a bag. But has she ever been that famous in the industry and in the Black community for people to really hate on her like that? Or does she do certain things for people to not want to F with her? We have to bring that into play because to me, Armand had too much information for him to just be able to pick up those so-called vibes and have all of that information just from his own with him, I guess, seeing things going on in the office. I just don't think he was able to gather that information in the short amount of time that he's been there. I remember Tiny had a nighttime talk show that Claudia was on. Oh yeah, tell me. Okay, so remember when Tiny had that late night talk show on VH1? It was Tiny, Claudia, and Tamar, I think. Well, Claudia was also on. Yes, I remember she was on Jamie Foxx radio show because it was actually syndicated, I think, out here, and was going in on Tiny saying she looked like Miss Piggy. See, again, I have heard, and these are from people who used to hang around that girl. I've heard she's a mean girl. She truly, and I don't know if she's still like that, but she truly was that girl that wanted girls of a certain look, certain, that can get her in rooms or whatever the case may be. She did not. She did not. And I remember, I want to say back in the day, she even would post pictures of like obese women and clown them and think it's funny or whatever case may be. Claudia, to me, she always came off like a mean girl. She says she was a waste of life. There it is. There it is. And mind you, both Claudia and Tiny are both biracial women. So interesting enough, like Claudia just apparently did something on TGIF saying that she hates when her sisters, when it comes to colorism and stuff, that her more melanated sisters, go through so many issues. And I'm like, you sure about that, girl? You sure about that? Because to me, you even saying a waste of light skin, you understand the privileges that you have in this world, especially being a biracial light skinned woman. And you probably have taken advantage of that and roasted people your whole entire life being that mean girl. So the fact that she said that about Tiny, yeah. And again, so she said that while they were doing the late night show. That's crazy. So while she was on the Jamie Foxx show, she was also doing the late night show. And she said that about Tiny on the Jamie Foxx show while they were working together. If that ain't trifling, I don't know what is. If that is the case. Yeah. Allegedly, Claudia's attitude is why she didn't last long on the Ricky Smiley morning show. I believe it. That's what I'm saying. This girl has had a reputation. She has had a reputation. And she can always claim, because she was like, oh, well, people always want to blame me and I don't like the drama. Nah, mama, I think you do. I think you like the drama. You just hate that the drama that you put out there is coming back on you. because she wants to quickly say, well, I didn't say it, Armand said it. Yeah, but where did Armand get the information from? Like, where did he get the information from? You can't convince me him talking about all of that back office stuff that you didn't say anything. Isn't she India? Claudia would be considered dark skin over there. Um, no, Claudia, if I'm not mistaken, has an Italian mother and a black father. She's biracial. She got an Italian mom and a black father. So yeah, she's black and white. I don't know the way Claudia be booking certain types of shows. I mean, she just got done filming season 3 of College Hill. I think she has some type of clout in the entertainment industry. What's your version of clout though, Joseph? Like, what's your version of clout? Because I would say how can I put this? In the urban world, she may have some type of clout, but I think Claudia wanted a bigger career for herself. I think she did. I think she wanted a bigger career for herself. And in my humble opinion, I'm not clowning or dissing, but the type of stuff that she's on, hell, she making more money than me. So I ain't gonna hate that she making a coin, but that's more of like chitlin circuit level stuff. And I'm saying, I'm not trying to be shady, but let's be clear. If you had a better option than College Hill, if you had even the Real Housewives of Atlanta versus College Hill, you're going with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. College Hill is BET. The Real Housewife of Atlanta is Bravo. When she has tried to get into those higher spaces where she can make more of a name for herself, she hasn't lasted. She's only lasted in the lower vibration urban sector, in my opinion. But trust me, if those people had better options than College Hill, they would not be on College Hill. It's not like she's promoting any type of product or anything. I don't think she has any product or anything like that. Maybe she has evolved, but the problem is that when you continue to be in the mix of mess, we got to start looking at you. Her and Amanda Seales should start. Oh, yeah. Well, that won't last because both of them, child, that would be entertainment. That would be entertaining as hell, though. But they wouldn't be able to last because they both come off as know-it-alls. They're always right. That would be quite interesting. And I could see Amanda Seales saying that she's more black than Claudia because at least she has both black parents. It would be a mess. What's up, Leo? So what happened to Gary with the T? Why did he leave? He was an original as well. I don't know. Maybe it conflicted with his Ricky Smiley show or something. I don't know. I like Gary with the T. Oh, damn. I thought she was Indian. No. And I hate to say it like that, but I'm going to just leave this comment right here. If she could be in bigger spaces, she would. And I'm not saying that even for a Claudia. I'm saying for most people want the crossover effect. They want the crossover effect to appeal to all audience, including the urban community. Claudia is able to continue to make her dime in the urban community because, in my opinion, that's the only one that's going to continue to give her a bag. But if she had her option, if she could have stayed on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she would have stayed there. She wants to be able to cross over. And in my opinion, she felt like her looks and her, biracial status alone, she thought probably was going to cross her over, and it didn't. It didn't. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that was because she didn't play the game well. You know what I'm saying? She didn't play the game well. Even, you know what I'm saying, with your racial ambiguous looks. If you keep rubbing people off the wrong way or coming off messy or fake, even you can get outed to a certain extent. You can still keep a check coming, but you can get outed. Even Amanda Seales, that's a good example of that. Amanda Seales, she still works. She still sell out shows. She got 2 million followers. She still keep a coin, but she wants to be able to be accepted and cross over. And that's just not in her lane right now because people don't want to deal with her. And I think Claudia, only certain people want to deal with her. The people they just throw in there to put something together real quick because they're a familiar face. Yeah. Claudia, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I understand completely what you're saying, and I get it. And I don't want people to think that it's shade because, again, You making $250,000 more a year off of that Fox Soul show. You can sit at home and literally do a screen in the background just to talk and give your opinion on hot topics and make at least $250,000 and get $1,000 per episode. Hell, you're doing better than most of us. So at the end of the day, but again, does she feel that she wants that crossover appeal? Hell yeah, I think she wanted that crossover appeal from the beginning. She just couldn't get to those levels. Claudia also had a radio show down here in the Dallas area, and the show got canceled. Yeah, she lives in Dallas, and I'm sure in Dallas, because she even mentioned something, I think, allegedly about Al, or people may be jealous of her house and stuff like that, and the home that she lives in. And I'm like, baby girl, you live in Texas. You making that type of money per year amongst maybe other little events and stuff that you do, you can live nice in Texas with $250,000 or more per year. Very nice. You know what I mean? Now, I would like to see what you can do in LA with that type of money. But in Texas, you can live nice. And it was smart for her to move to Texas because she could stretch her money out more. I think that was a very smart move. But there seems to be a pattern with Claudia. Yes, I think the urban world, because all black people know who Claudia Jordan, good or bad, is, while other groups don't. Yeah, and that's another thing that we can talk about. She's a biracial woman. She knows that the black community, especially with colorism and everything else, she is considered the hierarchy, the creme de la creme, when it comes to, because of course people still believe in that one drop rule. If you got a drop of black in, you're black. So she knows that she's seen as a higher standard, and she gets more love in the black community than anywhere else. So she gonna stick to where people look at her like she's the top beauty because of her features. Like, let's just keep it real. I think the only time Claudia was exposed to a wider audience was when she was on The Princess with Donald Trump back in the day, but that's about it. Child, I didn't even know she was on there. I didn't even know she was on there, and I'm sure she was happy as hell that she was on there. How long did she last? You see, you notice she's always done stuff. And when you really think about it, what is Claudia's talent? She can talk, whatever the case may be, but it seems like she has been staying in this reality show, talk show world for a very long time. The only talent or currency that Claudia has had her whole entire life, from my understanding, is just her being a pretty girl. Do we know her for, anything she's done as far as, like, is she a writer? Is, she a singer? Is she a rapper? Like, does she have some hardcore talents where we can say Claudia Jordan is known for this? I don't think we do. We know Claudia Jordan as the former video girl, former model, who tried to use that avenue of her being a pretty girl to get in other avenues of her life. Can't be mad at that. Beauty is currency, but I think a lot of people just see her as the pretty girl who has been trying to just stay relevant. Yeah, she's still down here. I didn't like her on The Real Housewife of Atlanta. She had that interracial storyline on there, and I think she had her mother on there. Yeah. She'll play it up when she needs to, but then in the heartbeat, she'll also say that she's black. Whatever is going to benefit Claudia, she will do it. If it's more beneficial for her to say that she's biracial, she'll do it. If it's more beneficial for her to say that she's black, she'll do it. And the thing is, a lot of people do that. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe that's the privilege of being biracial or multiracial. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they can do. That's the privilege behind it. But whatever is going to get her to be accepted and for people to say, right on, Claudia, I agree with you, she'll do it. I just don't personally believe that she is so pro, melanated women who don't have her privileges, because she said in the last show, she hates that sisters who are more melanated or whatever the case may be and have different features, they get discriminated against. I don't know if I believe that from her. Because if you're willing to say that Tiny was a waste of light skin, what do you think about a more melanated sister with 4C hair? You know what I mean? Like, what would she think about, what's her name? Like, to me, you know what she remind me of? She remind me of Evelyn when it came to OG. That's what Claudia reminds me of. On a good day when she feel like ain't nobody watching, To me, that's what she reminds me of. She may be smart enough not to do it on camera, but she reminds me of that chick who would call OG ugly and call her all types of, you know what I'm saying, racist names. She gives me those vibes, and again, that's my opinion. But she gives me those vibes. She does. So, and the fact that she said wasted light skin, I'm like, oh, so you understand that light skin privilege, don't you? Don't you, Claudia? But yeah, I remember her when she was on the Jamie Foxx show, and to me, she was annoying on that show too. She was. And I think she was trying to do whatever she could to make sure that she stood out amongst Jamie Foxx and the rest of the people that was on that show. But that's my opinion. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Do you feel like Claudia is behind it before we get off? Do you feel that she is the common denominator in all of this BS? Do you feel that? I've given my opinion on the situation. Y'all let me know what you think. Or do you think Armand did this on his own? For those who are familiar with Armand, do you feel that way? Please let me know, because I definitely feel like Claudia is the common denominator. And now at this point, will this show continue? I don't know. I think too much damage has been done at this point. Yes, she is, and the show is over. I think it is too, Leo. I think it is too. I do not think that they will ever be the same. And what's so crazy is Armand is probably going to take the fall on this, because they're looking at Armand like, how can you mess this up? You just got there. He's going to take the fall, and he doesn't even realize that it should be Claudia probably taking the fall. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can agree with that. But who's taking more of the heat? Claudia or Armand? You know what I mean? Claudia or Armand? Who has really taken the heat? I think Armand is taking more heat than Claudia. Claudia looks like she's the innocent one, and she doesn't want the drama. I think Armand is taking most of the heat, and Armand is like, oh, she don't have nothing to do with it. It was just a roast, and people just hate on me, and they just don't like me, and I'm okay with that. Armand, I know one thing. I mean, I have seen some of his stuff. He can be entertaining for sure, but it damn sure is not anything with me not liking him. I don't follow him enough to say I like him or I don't like him. What I do know is that he definitely seems like he's the fall guy in this. And I don't think that's fair, because I don't think it's 100% just him. You think he quit? So you think he quit? I wonder if he did. And then if he has quit and they come back, and that's another thing too. I think Claudia says something like, Al can't get Armand off the show. He can barely keep himself on the show, or something crazy like that. This is why I'm saying some of the stuff that Claudia was saying, it suggests that she is the one who was behind it. She was slick with her mouth. And while she's telling us that Al has done some shady stuff to her, we haven't seen the stuff that Al has done, but we damn sure seen the things that you have said about him. So I think Claudia gave the green light and Armand hit the gas. Right, because I think she's the executive producer too. I'm sure Nene is loving it, because she said Claudia stole her whole format from for the show from her. Baby, let me tell you something. Nene definitely has had her moments, and she definitely kind of went downhill the last couple of seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I think people don't want to listen to Nene a lot of times because of her delivery. But when it came to Phaedra, when it came to Claudia, a lot of the people that Nene told us to look out for, baby, if we haven't seen it come full circle, it has come full circle. So Nene be knowing what she be talking about. It's just that a lot of times people don't like her delivery. They felt like she was too arrogant when she said certain things, or too obnoxious or annoying when she said certain things. But yeah, it's coming full circle. Leo, that is right. Right. So yeah, you guys. So I personally think, my last thoughts, I don't think any of them are innocent. Now, that is not saying that Al is not behind the scenes playing dirty. I could see him doing that too. But when you're behind the scenes playing dirty, but we don't have proof that he's playing dirty, it's different. And see, this is why I say you got to play chess and not checkers. Because behind the scenes, he could be playing dirty. But what you just did, thinking that you aired out the stuff he does behind the scenes, You really aired out yourself. Al looks like the victim in the situation. Even if he is playing dirty, he looks like the victim while they don't. So who really played the game better? Al or Armand and Claudia? And I would definitely, I think me and Teef were talking about this. I would love if Al feels, now I don't know at this point because it seems like they can't talk about certain things. So I don't know if it's because of legal issues or their contracts with Fox Soul. But I would love one day for Al and Funky Dinevas to sit down and just talk about all the BS. That would be a live or interview, baby, that I would not miss. I would love for Al to tell his side of the story on Funky Dineva's platform. I would love that. I really would love that. Yeah, Al knew how to play the game, but when he called into Funky, he definitely seemed like he was over. Oh, yeah. Now, that's one part where he did slip because he didn't realize that he was on live. He was so upset he didn't hear that. But it still wasn't enough for, I think, people to be convinced that Al is the shady one. It just didn't. Everything that they were saying and everything that Armand said in that roast is all speculation on our end. We haven't seen the actual proof. We haven't heard any audio. We haven't seen any of this stuff. So again, you're saying this. Claudia's saying this. She claims that he has done some shady stuff behind her back, but we haven't seen it. We have seen what you have said about him, and we've seen what Armand has said about him. We haven't seen, from what I've seen, Al say anything shady when it comes to how Claudia is or how Armand is. Seems like he won the war on this, maybe, depending on what's going to happen after this so-called hiatus. But everybody's been speculating that the show is over. And because of egos and people not willing to talk and play petty games, y'all literally lost $250,000 in a contract and $1,000 a day. I'll be damned. Let me tell you something. Let me get a contract like that. Like, in general, I don't like to play the passive aggressive games anyways. If you got a problem with me, let's discuss this like adults. And if you can't discuss it like adults, we can agree to disagree and move on. We ain't gotta do that back hating bullshit and all of that stuff. I can't stand that type of stuff. But literally to lose that type of money over this type of nonsense, no way. Fox Soul call me. I can play nice. Right. You ain't gotta like your coworkers. You know what I mean? You don't have to like your coworkers. You just got to be respectful. So $250,000, $1,000 a day, really? Because to me, a lot of it is egos and insecurity. I don't see how Claudia keep getting these shows, especially with the way she acts. So Leo, it seems like you know some inside scoops when it comes to Dallas too, I guess. See, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I definitely feel like Claudia was in the middle of all of this. I really do. And she wants to play victim now because a lot of people are putting two and two together and saying, you are the reason that all of this is going down. And now she wants to play victim, saying that she doesn't want the drama. You do want the drama. You just didn't want the drama to fall back on you. But it did. But unfortunately, I think Armand is going to get most of it. And then what's going to happen is if the show is canceled, a lot of people are going to look at Armand and blame Armand. But if that's the case, in my opinion, they need to look at both of them. More so Claudia, because if she is the executive producer, she's a leader in this situation. She's a leader. So if that roast is literally now, unless what they're trying to imply is that the show was literally canceled, like maybe what Armand is trying to say and maybe what Claudia is trying to say, because again, I can play both sides and see it in both ways. Maybe there was something going on in the background where that show was about to get canceled anyways, and they just can't talk about it. Maybe they knew that once that vacation was done, they were either not coming back or it was a possible, like a strong chance they weren't going to come back, period. And they're blaming Al for some stuff that went down. So they wanted to get a final roast, as they are calling it, to get him back for getting the show canceled. Because Armand made a comment like he's trying to get the show canceled behind the scenes or something like that. So that, to me, maybe they're saying Al is the reason why the show got canceled. So we're sticking it to his ass before we're officially done. Maybe that's it. What do y'all think about that scenario? Maybe it was canceled and we didn't realize it was canceled, and Armand and Claudia came up with this to say, oh, we about to get your ass back for getting this show canceled, and here you go. No, don't know much, Scoop, but seems like she has had a bad history with coworkers. Yeah. I did see where someone broke down her IG video and she said her and Al wasn't cool and basically they was faking for the audience. Exactly. This is why I'm saying when that mean-spirited read or whatever the case may be happened, she was enjoying every bit of it. She was enjoying. She could try to make it seem like she was like, oh my gosh. No, she was enjoying it. She was ready for it. Don't put it past her that she read that shit before Armand read it. She knew exactly what Armand was gonna say. You know what I mean? So I don't put it past her. So that's why I'm like, girl, please, you are not innocent in this situation. But again, it could be that Al was destroying the show behind the scenes, and they did get word that they was getting their pink slip soon anyways, and they wanted to give, Claudia wanted to give a last FU to Al through Armand because their show was getting canceled anyways. But again, we don't know that. We didn't know the behind the scenes drama until you guys decided to air it out, and it still looked bad on y'all part that y'all did it on his birthday, so he still looks like the victim. Oh, speaking of getting shows canceled, you see 50 Cent is mad at Terry Flannery and said he can't let stars. Wait, huh? Terry, which of course is a part of the real BMF, and said he can't let stars cancel. How is Terry getting stars to cancel BMF? I'm confused about that. Give me some more clarity on that. Is Terry trying to get it canceled? I know people who barely make $40K a year who play nice at their job just to make a living. You can't sacrifice your livelihood over your personal feelings about people. You got to take it on the chin. Thank you. I mean, my thing is this though, also too, trust me, there have been times in my professional life, my personal life, even on here, that I have been ready to cuss people out. But a lot of the time, the best way to play chess in a situation is allow things to play out, because the real people are going to see the real. The real people are going to see what's going on. You ain't got to spell it out for them, or you ain't got to react in a certain way to try to force people to see. People will eventually see things on their own. So sometimes, yeah, you got to take it on the chin and say, you know what? They will eventually expose themselves. And that's just what it is. Let them expose themselves. Put it in God's hands. Like, that's my motto in a lot of situations. I'm putting it in God's hands, because God is going to be able to handle the situation way better than I can. Because like I said, anytime I try to do it my way, it came back on me. And I don't want it to come back on me. You know, I wish people well. I don't hate on anybody. I wish them well as much as they may deserve a cuss out from me. Wish you nothing but the best. I really do. No, 50 wants to cancel BMF because of Terry. Why? Because of Terry. I heard Terry out of the Flannery brothers, though, is the most difficult one to deal with. Apparently, with all of those interviews that I saw with BMF, Terry is not a likable person. So he's not a likable. First of all, they need to cancel BMF because this last season was garbage. How about that? 50 should just let it go, period, because that season was garbage. I'm sure they still have their cult following, but I'll be damned. I could not get into it. So that's the real reason why he needs to do that. But it looks like you're saying 50 only wants to cancel it because of something that Terry is doing, which it would be interesting to know what he's trying to do. But I've heard that Terry has never been the likable brother. Meech was always that guy, that solid dude, the loyal one to the end. But Terry apparently allegedly always came off like an a-hole and not really likable. And that's some people who were like in BMF have actually said that about him. Let me see. I don't watch that show, but apparently the cast member took a pic with a guy. Whoa. So Terry and his son was taking pictures with one of 50's enemy sons, and oh, you know what? How do I feel about that? How do I really feel about that? 50's enemy is not my enemy. 50's enemy is not my enemy if I don't have anything to do with that. But at the same time, again, if you're playing chess and not checkers, you may not want to do something like that because everybody knows how 50 Cent can be. But when you really think about it, 50's enemy is not everyone's enemy. So how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like that warrants 50? Now, again, we know how 50 Cent is. He don't give a damn anyways. But when you really think about it, in your personal life, would you have an issue with somebody that you employ taking a picture with your enemy if they don't have a beef in that situation? Okay, we both was typing at the same time. It was the guy's son. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And the son has been trolling 50 for years. Yeah, I mean, look, and 50's own son has been trolling him for years too, and 50 has been allegedly trolling him back. So I don't know how I feel about that, you guys. I don't know. And I don't know if and maybe Terry really knows what's going on and he doesn't care, or maybe Terry is like, I'm too grown for this nonsense. Like Terry is considered a urban legend in the streets. So you're going to have a lot of people who are going to want to take pictures with Terry. And if Meech ever gets out of jail, Big Meech, you're going to have a lot of people going to want to take a picture with him. So, and that's anyone. They're going to want to take pictures with them. So should they not, because they looking at a kid that can be their child and say, you such and such son, I can't take a picture with you? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. 50 gets on my nerves though. Yeah, he's definitely, I have a love-hate relationship with him. I respect him so much as a businessman. Like the man has created an empire on top of empires. He went from music to TV to movies and still was able to produce music for the TV shows and the movies. He definitely, businessman. I would love to sit down one day and talk to Curtis Jackson. It's 50 Cent I got a problem with. Curtis Jackson is that businessman. 50 Cent is unpredictable as hell. Hence what just happened with what's his name, Michael Rainey, with that situation that happened with him on live TV, and he kind of played that off. Like he just does certain things where I'm just like, what are you thinking? But I don't know how I feel about that, you guys. And in the comment section, the replay gang, let me know how you guys feel about that. Do you feel that should be something that makes him want to stop the show because Terry took a picture with that kid? Like, I don't know. 50 trolls too much for me. He does. And sometimes like I said, I did one video where I said his petty is activated. When he is petty, he takes it to another level. He really does. And he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. You know what I mean? And that's also because he doesn't get canceled for the stuff that he does. If it started to affect his money, 50 Cent will probably calm down. But it doesn't. In fact, it gives him more attention. So I don't think he's ever going to stop. I just don't. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for coming to the WTF Weekly. Those are my thoughts and my opinions, all alleged, and all my opinions on the situation, because clearly YouTube is getting quite hot. A couple of people were in YouTube jail, I guess, and getting flagged left and right. It's crazy how minority YouTubers get flagged like crazy, which is why I say time and time again, and I agree with Mims, you would think that we would want to stick together because we are clearly targeted the most. But, everybody has that every man for themselves mentality. But, I wish them well. And like Mims, he has created, though, a couple of people that he has a bond with and he has a friendship with, and he keeps it with that small circle. So I respect that. So I do feel that you can actually find genuine connections on YouTube and people who are just truly just trying to lift you up, and you guys grow together. And Mims has outgrown most of his colleagues that he has created a bond with, and there's still no hate, there's love. And I think it can be done. You can't do it with a lot of people, but it can be done. So I understand Armand, what he's saying about the YouTube, that you won't have real friends. I don't think that's accurate. I think you can. You just got to find your circle. You got to find your people. You really have to find your people. But can I understand why he can be hesitant? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it has definitely made me hesitant. So, but at the same time, Mims and certain people like that have made me realize it can be done. And it's still love at the end of the day when people are growing. So yeah, yeah. It's one of those things. I mean, again, you have literally, there was just one YouTube channel, a minority channel, and his channel just got taken down. Just got taken down, just out of the blue got taken down. And I think he had like 15,000 subscribers, 16,000 subscribers. So it's crazy out here, and no explanation. They don't ever give you an explanation. It just gets shut down. And you're like, what is going on? This is why I say I will never be able to see, I don't care how much my channel grows, I'm never going to be able to see YouTube as my only check. Because as you can see, in these type of situations, you are an at-will employee. They can stop your bag at any time. And I don't know anybody who want to live like that. You know what I mean? So I cannot ever solely see this as a way to make money. I don't care if God blesses me with 3 million subscribers. It ain't happening. Because if they take it from under you, and I know apparently it takes months to appeal, and they have to look over stuff, you pretty much don't have a bag for however long, and you may not ever get a bag again. I ain't gonna be able to live like that. But again, wish everyone the best of luck in their YouTube journey. But yeah, it's rough out here. But to me, what Armand and Claudia and Al just represented, that even in good situations like that, you always gonna have people who are gonna want to F it up. Like seriously, because there's no way in hell I'll do a show like that, 250,000, 1,000 a episode. I ain't messing up that bag for nobody. You want to throw shade all day, throw shade. At the end of the day, you are just a co-worker. I'm going to keep it moving. That's what it is. That is crazy. I remember when they took Funky Dineva's channel and he had to fight to get it back. Yeah, and how long did it take for him to get it back up? That's another thing too, Leah. Go down the rabbit hole. It gets deep. Yeah. It gets crazy, but I haven't heard that many people who don't look like me getting their pages taken down, like completely taken down. I've heard that our pages get completely taken down, which is why, if you notice, a lot of people do backup pages just to be on the safe side. You know what I mean? Like, they will do backup pages, but I understand that YouTube has their rules. There are certain guidelines and rules that you have to follow. I get it. Um, but it seems like, based on what I'm seeing, a lot of people got their pages taken away and they just never understood why. Even when they got them back, they apparently never got a real answer on why the page was taken down. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people have like Instagram pages and TikTok pages and things like that. So just in case something like that happens, they can let their subscribers know, and then they do backup channels. Yeah, Chris, you're right. I've been hearing that a lot from, yeah. So you would think you try to stick together. But again, I mean, in a perfect world, in real life, a lot of us can't stick together. So you think it's going to happen on YouTube? But at the same time, you rock with the people who rock with you, and that's just what it is. But on that note, you guys, love you guys. Happy Juneteenth. I know most people were off today. I hope you enjoyed your day off, and thank you so much for spending your day, some of your day, with me to hear me talk and give my opinions on the drama that occurred this week and last week. So with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.